Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to conduct a forensic investigation into one of the most psychologically devious crimes out there. This is a threat that doesn't kick your door in, it politely asks you to open it. We are talking about the remote access scam, and we're going to break this thing down piece by piece so you can see exactly how the trap works, how the manipulation unfolds, and most importantly, how to shut it down cold. Let's get into it.
You know, this quote just nails it. It gets right to the heart of the whole thing. See, this isn't about some genius hacker or a sophisticated virus that sneaks past your defenses. Nope, this is a confidence game. It's a carefully crafted con that turns your own permission into the criminal's master key. The entire system is built to make you trust them just enough to willingly open the digital door to your own life. So here's our game plan for this investigation. First step, the digital ambush. That's where the trap is set. Then we'll map out the anatomy of an intrusion, basically the scammer's step-by-step playbook. After that, we dive into the psychological choke point, which is how they mess with your head. From there, we pivot to your defense, cutting the wires, and we'll wrap it all up with the unshared key, the single most important rule to keep you safe. Okay, so our investigation starts right at the beginning, the first point of contact. And you have to understand, this is never random. It's a carefully designed environment, a digital ambush, really, that's built to do one thing: completely short-circuit your critical thinking. They want you to panic, because when you're afraid, you don't think straight. And that's when you're most likely to make a critical mistake.
You know, this whole scam really hinges on one simple fact. For most of us, our computers and our phones are basically black boxes. Yeah, we know how to use them to work or talk to family, but we don't really know how they work on the inside. Well, scammers live in that knowledge gap. They use all this technical jargon and scary-looking visuals not to help you, but as weapons, to confuse you, to scare you, and to make you feel completely dependent on them, this so-called expert.
So, how do they actually hook you? Well, it usually starts with a really aggressive pop-up window, maybe with a loud blaring alarm sound, shouting that your system has failed and your data is at risk. Your browser might even look like it's frozen, so you can't close the tab. This is just pure theater, designed to spike your anxiety. And then a phone number appears, usually right next to a logo you trust. Microsoft, Apple, you name it. This plays on our natural authority bias. We're wired to trust figures of authority. But here is the most crucial thing to remember. The scammer always makes the first move. Real tech support will never, ever work this way. That is the biggest red flag you will ever see. All right, let's follow the breadcrumbs and see how this ambush turns into a full-blown intrusion. Once they have you on the phone and you're panicked, confused, and just want help, they switch gears from creating chaos to taking control. And they follow a very specific, almost robotic script. This is not improvisation. It's an industrial process for theft that they have perfected over thousands and thousands of calls. And this is the whole scam laid out in 6 basic steps. It starts with that malvertising pop-up we talked about. Then comes the diagnostic pretext, where they cleverly use your own computer against you to prove there's a huge problem. That leads to the permission request, where they'll tell you to download a perfectly legitimate remote access tool like AnyDesk or TeamViewer. The second you read them the access code from that program, that's the handshake. They are now in control of your computer. From there, it's extraction time, where they steal your money or your data, often while hiding what they're doing. And finally, concealment, where they'll often plant a back door so they can get back in whenever they want.
So let's be crystal clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not hacking, not even close. We call it a permission-based intrusion. The scammer doesn't have to break through your firewall or defeat your antivirus. They don't need to. They just have to convince you, the authorized user who has all the passwords, to politely hold the door open for them. And in that moment, all that expensive security software you bought becomes totally worthless, because you're the one letting them in.
Everything they do, all the fear-mongering, the claims of authority, the technical mumbo-jumbo, it all builds to this one single crucial moment. It's when they ask you to read them that 9-digit access ID from the software you just installed. The second those numbers leave your lips, it's game over. You've just handed a complete stranger the keys to your entire digital life. So how in the world do they keep you on the phone long enough to get those keys? How do they build that fragile, fake trust? Well, this next part of our investigation dives into the psychological heart of the scam, the specific mental tricks and theatrical tactics they use to keep you under their thumb for the whole session.
Okay, this is where the deception gets really, really clever. The scammers use legitimate built-in tools on your own computer as psychological props. For example, they'll have you open something called the event viewer and point to a list of yellow and red warnings. Now, to you and me, This looks terrifying, right? Like a medical chart full of critical alerts. But in reality, these are almost always just normal, harmless system logs. Or they'll open that scary black command prompt window and run the tree command. A wall of text starts scrolling down your screen, and it looks like some highly advanced virus scan. What's it really doing? It's just listing your file folders. It's social engineering through technical obscurity. They use things you don't understand to make themselves look credible and make you feel even more scared. Now, up until this point, the scammer's been playing the part of the helpful, knowledgeable technician. They've been showing you the problem. But as soon as they have access, the whole dynamic flips on its head. The helpful guide vanishes, and now their main job is to actively hide their criminal actions from you, all while they're still on the phone with you. They might use a feature in the remote tool to completely black out your screen, telling you it's for a deep system scan and that you shouldn't touch anything. And while you're just staring at a blank screen, they're logging into your bank, while a fake virus scan progress bar slowly crawls across your monitor to keep you distracted. They're quietly grabbing the file where your browser stores all your saved passwords. And for the final move, they'll use a utility like Task Scheduler to make sure their remote tool launches every time you turn on your computer, giving them a permanent backdoor into your system. And now we get to one of their most brazen tricks, the Refund Ruse. After they fixed your computer, they might offer you a small refund for your trouble, maybe $50. They'll have you log into your bank account so you can confirm you got it. But when the page loads, your balance doesn't show an extra $50. It shows an extra $5,000. This is a complete digital illusion. They're using a standard web developer tool called Inspect Element to just temporarily change the text on the web page. It's not real. No money was ever transferred. And right then, the scammer starts to panic, or at least they pretend to. They say they've made a terrible mistake, that the money is going to come out of their paycheck, that they're going to get fired. They beg you to help them by refunding the difference. This right here is the psychological choke point. They use guilt and urgency to pressure you into going out to buy thousands of dollars in gift cards or sending a wire transfer to fix their mistake. They have just turned you from a victim into an unwilling accomplice in stealing your own money.
Okay, we've just dissected the entire attack. We've seen the trap, the playbook, and the psychological games. So now we pivot to defense. This part is all about empowerment. There are clear, simple, and absolutely decisive things you can do to stop this attack dead in its tracks and take back control.
So let's imagine the worst has happened. You're on the phone, a stranger is moving your mouse cursor around, and that cold feeling of dread just washes over you as you realize what's happening. What is your very next move? In that exact moment, what is your single most powerful weapon? This, the internet kill switch. And no, it's not some fancy software or complicated commands you have to memorize. It is a physical action. The moment you sever your computer's connection to the internet, you immediately and completely cut the scammer's connection to your computer. They are instantly kicked out, the attack is over. And it's incredibly simple to do. Don't touch your computer, don't argue with the person on the phone, just hang up. Get up, walk over to your internet router or modem, you know, that little box with the blinking lights, and physically unplug the power cord from the wall or from the device itself. That's it. The remote session is dead. The link is broken. You are back in control.
Okay, so what about recovery and future prevention? First, if you just get one of those scary pop-ups but haven't called anyone, remember, the restart. A simple reboot will get rid of most of those fake browser lockups. Second, the software audit. This one is non-negotiable. If you gave someone access, you have to assume they left something behind. Go into your computer settings, find the list of installed programs, and look for any remote access tools like AnyDesk, TeamViewer, or anything similar. If you find one, uninstall it immediately. And finally, live by the local pro rule. Real tech support doesn't come from a random phone call. If you have a real computer problem, you take it to a trusted physical repair shop in your town.
So we've walked through the trap, the playbook, the psychology, and the defense. Now, let's boil all this evidence down to one core principle. This is the single idea that acts as a permanent shield against not just this scam, but all of its variations. Let's put all the pieces together into one final definition. Remote access fraud isn't a single action. It's a complete system. It's a permission-based intrusion that uses technical jargon and visual tricks to just walk right past all your security. And its success depends entirely on making you afraid and pretending to be an authority you trust. Understanding that this is a system is the key to beating it every single time. And really, it all comes down to this.
This is the mantra that makes you bulletproof. That remote access ID is a digital key to your home, your bank account, your entire life. Never, ever give that key to someone who called you out of the blue. Remember, it's your screen, they are your keys, and it is always your choice. Stay safe out there.